When you design and build your own luxury home, you're not just creating a space for you and your family to live in. You are creating an environment that celebrates all of your hard work and nurtures your desire to experience the best version of your life. Well, most of my clients are okay with mid range homes in terms of costs. I'm increasingly running into people who are really interested in luxury homes, or at least luxury finishes. So in this video, I will show you one project that is not necessarily luxury in the traditional way, but I'm really intrigued by how they have creatively used ordinary materials to present a very luxurious look. And so I will show you all of the details right from the living room to the windows, to the walls, to the bathrooms, all the way up to the rooftop. So this building, in my view, actually exemplifies creative use of materials in ways that end up achieving a luxurious look and without necessarily spending so much. So I hope you'll pick up some ideas that might be interesting or useful for your project. So what I want you to really pay attention to is the granite work, the tiling, light fixtures, gypsum designs, window finishes, floor plan, and the paintwork that I'm going to show as we move on. So one caveat that I have to give you before we move too far is that some of the tiling work I don't find too exciting because they may look a little too busy, but the workmanship is on another scale. So the choice of the tiles may not be mine in terms of patterns, but sometimes contractors end up delivering whatever preferences that customers have, even if we don't really agree necessarily with the patterns and colors, and that's okay. Because again, the customer is going to live there, so you give them what they want as long as it is safe and properly done. So friends, welcome to Kisumu. We are in Western Kenya, and in this channel we talk about everything construction, everything real estate, and everything related to folks living in diaspora who are working hard to create a dignified life in the village. So join me in talking about this topic about trying to achieve luxury in the village. And I'm talking about luxury in the way that we see it for those of us who live outside the continent and are working towards coming back. So in general, I would say that while luxury homes are undoubtedly more expensive to build than a typical Kenyan home, in return, you are actually receiving an exceptional living space created with the finest materials, often by the best craftsmen in the business. So to help you achieve the desired outcome while ensuring that your project stays on budget and on schedule, let's take a look at some of the things that you need to be thinking about before you commit to building a luxury building in the village. And luxury does not necessarily mean a big size. And of course, just because you're spending more, it doesn't mean you're going to get luxury. So here's just some of the things that really factor into the cost of what you're going to put together. Number one, the most obvious one, is location. And in Kisumu particularly, there are a few areas that cost a little bit more than other areas, like places like anywhere around the airport would likely cost you more. Usually, as you go higher up the hill around Riyadh, you'll pay more. Around Milimani, of course, I will add Karateng to that list. There are certain places in Nyahera, Kajulu, and Kapuonja that could be really expensive, depending on where it's located, whether on top of the hill or close to a facility like Ciela Resort. And anything also close to waterfront, maybe except for rivers, but a lot of waterfront spaces can be quite expensive in Kisumu as well in terms of land. So the cost of your luxury structure begins with land, and then that may also be connected to whether or not you're in an exclusive gated community. And some of these communities are sort of like upscale gated in some ways, such that you have really what some people consider top-notch security, well-maintained common areas, premium amenities like golf courses, private clubs, and recreational facilities. There are not so many of these in Kisumu, but you'll find pockets here and there. And particularly when you have these communities where they've really squeezed the market so that the supply is really limited. Sometimes they do that intentionally to really jack up the prices of land in those places. Then besides the land, you're looking at the materials and the craftsmanship. If you're doing a building structure where the contractor does everything, which I call like a full-on contract, they buy the materials, they often will give you what we call quote-unquote standard. And standard homes generally work with what I would call moderate materials in terms of quality to below moderate. Because many contractors are in it, almost most of us are in it to make money in some ways. If you're not making money, then it's really hard to sustain it. So you'll often get standard materials that are often move further away from luxury. And then when you're looking at the design and the planning part, there's this thing that I just described as the wow factor. So if you're using teams that are going to design for you a luxury home, then you probably want to stay away from stock home plans that are very common. In Kenya, there's a certain type of home that every part of Kenya you go to, you see that design. And so experienced designers know how to bring in the wow factor so that even if it's a small house, your home is going to be really different. And when I was building mine, this is the one thing I really did not know about. And so if I had to do it again, I would really pay attention to that. Then we move on to finishes. When you're designing a luxury home, you are typically interested in the best of what you can find in that market, whether it's flooring materials, appliances, cabinets, hardware, woodwork, and so on. The finishes that you choose will definitely affect the overall price of your home. So prepare to spend a good amount on the finishes if you're expecting luxury. And this is where I also add my second caveat. Do not expect luxury in Kenya if your budget is under 5 million. I don't know how you get that. You can build a home, of course, with a budget of under 5 million. It just would not be luxury, at least in the ways that we know it. Then the issue of luxury extends to the exteriors. Another factor that will really influence how much it costs to build your dream home is whether you want a more subtle or more elaborate exterior design for your home. And this is really connected to what we call hardscaping. The more luxurious a home, the more likely you're going to find features like a gorgeous pool, multiple porches, decks, and very large outdoor spaces that are meant for entertainment. So many times clients tend to put so much energy on the interiors and you forget about the hardscaping that add up to bring you that luxurious look of a home. So putting all of that comes at a cost, particularly when you're talking about contractor fees. You must be willing to spend a little bit more in that sense if you're looking for luxury. So here are some things or some steps that I say you can consider if this is something that interests you. And by the way, the steps are made of granite. And they've creatively designed the granite so that you see there's a thin white layer in between the black layer. And it came out so nice. And this actually works out very well even in high traffic areas. They are not as slippery. One of my clients was wondering whether this might be dangerous. I say, no, it really is not. It works just fine. It's beautiful and is just as safe as every other material for the stairs. So then when you're putting together your design team, again, don't forget to make sure you include experienced folks. This is one other mistake that I made when I was designing our home, that the folks who were working with me were fairly new in the market. There was nobody in that team that had a lot of experience with flat roof houses. And so we ended up with a structure that was way beyond budget and didn't come out exactly as I desired it. So we make it work, it's okay, but that's not what I was going for. Now, as you do that too, make sure that you're very clear in terms of agreements, whether you're signing contracts and things like that. And if you're signing contracts, make sure you do things that protect you from the many problems that happen. Because I've seen clients who end up in spaces that are very tricky because they were given contracts that 100% favor the contractor. So be sure to look at it and make sure you are covered if you end up signing a contract. And again, if you're thinking about specific things that I know can also help you achieve that luxurious. Oh, by the way, this specific type of toilet is one that each toilet is not set aside with its own cistern. All the toilets draw water from the tank above, and it works perfectly fine. So anyway, so as I was saying, if you're thinking about luxury item, you might want to consider marble. Because I know marble, which is generally a classic, sophisticated material with a smooth surface and natural veining. If you can find that, it'll really pop. And marble is often used for countertops, backsplashes, shower walls, and many, many other areas. So if you find the one that often comes with very smooth surface and natural veining, it really pops out. Another alternative is to consider quartzite. And this is a durable material that really mimics marble in its look and feel. And quartzite is highly, highly ideal for high traffic areas like hallways, stairs, and things like that. Now, if you're in a colder place, you might consider hardwood, which is generally a traditional high-end finish that can add value to your home if the workmanship is correct. I have been in many, many homes that use hardwood or some type of hardwood, particularly mahogany and all that. But hardwood with poor workmanship is just terrible. It's just really, really terrible. So stay away from wood if you don't have a person who can produce excellent, excellent quality workmanship. Stainless steel also does a really good job with allowing your home to pop out. This is a very popular high-end finish that can be used for appliances and balustrade fencing. So yes, stainless steel really does a good job. Think of custom lighting, automation everywhere. Think about wine cellars, textured paintwork, modern minimalist furnishings, especially in places like family room that exude just quiet, luxurious interior design style with a very, very sleek monochromatic palette. And if at all possible, maximize natural light. That really, really allows your home to pop. Then you can consider other options like adding pools, adding a hot tub, because many of these luxury homes often have outdoor spaces for entertaining, which may also include hot tubs outside. Most of the homes I've been to have hot tubs inside. So outdoor spaces with hot tubs and things like that can also bring it up. So, well, I hope you picked up something. If you didn't hear me, I hope you saw something that you can borrow for your project. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next. Bye.